Practice, 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 practice. Fibonacci's, pivots, EMAs, and MACDs. Those are the three indicators. I think I've had this question about 5,200 million times this morning. What do you use? What are you trading with? Just a matter of fact, just in the process of moving from one broker to another for my trading broker. Not a big deal. Just made a gut decision I wanted to do that, and just based on some other stuff. So I'm in the process of closing one broker account and moving it over to another one that I really like, because they're working on integrating a trading view application in with their stuff, so we don't have to use MT4 anymore. And not a big deal. In my opinion, MT4 on the desktop is just horrible to look at. Hey, Sean, thanks for swinging by. So I have practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. I've been posting some of my results. This morning's results were just freaking phenomenal because I did. Hey, Walia, I set some traps that I call setting traps. It's just my way of thinking, like all the official professional traders are there. What the hell is a trap, man? It's not the official name. Well, that's what I call it, right? I'm setting a trap, right? Matter of fact, my friend Mark that I went to high school with used to go trapping, and he'd set traps to catch coyotes and stuff like that. And back in the day when we were in high school, when we lived out in the country, right? And anyway, so just it makes sense to me. But I'm gonna show you. Everybody asked, what do you do? One is, I'm gonna say this 100 more times. Practice, 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 practice. Open up a demo account, get enrolled in an official education platform, and practice, 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 practice. Find something that works for you and let it sit into your brain, and attend a lot of classes. I literally took classes for 3 to 5 hours a week, practicing for 18 straight months. Real, right? Demo account, practice, demo account, practice, demo account, practice, demo account, practice. If you have such a big ego that you think that you can go to 2 weeks worth of trading classes and be at the caliber of somebody that's been doing it 11 or 12 years, you're kidding yourself. I wanted to collapse that time frame and try to catch up to those dudes. So I found a couple of them that I liked, and I just did every single class. So one of them was Aaron. I just was in his class, because he made my green brain work top to bottom, left to right. He's very methodical. He would teach the same thing over and over and over and over. I'm like, okay, I get it. Do the same thing over and over and over. You'll get results, right? So what I've learned, right? I mean, I had such a good morning this morning. I literally made in 30 minutes more money than most people make in like 2 months, seriously. And I'm like, try not to be overexcited about it. I'm not even going to post it today because it's pretty exciting, right? Anyway, pretty cool month. I'm trying to have a pretty good month this month. Got a couple of guys in a trading group. I'm not sure. Yeah, he did. He talked about that because he actually was talking about me on his timeline. So excited. Sometimes if you make a decision, and this goes with any business that you're doing, right? Anything that you're doing, if you really want to get good results, you've got to show up and practice. If you want to get good at prospecting, you've got to practice. If you want to get good at follow-up, you have to practice. If you want to get good at closing a sale, you've got to practice. If you want to get good at trading, you've got to practice. Whatever craft that you're trying to master. Yep. My wife does T-shirts, right? She just started doing these real cool bedazzled shirts, right? What does she do? She practices. She practice. Now she has a lot of people reaching out to her saying, hey, can you show me how to make a shirt, right? Or whatever. So anything that you do requires practice. And in trading, there's so much stuff out there. There's all these free bot thingies. I've tried a couple of bots and they suck. I can actually out trade a bot all day long, and I'm not even like super experienced. I can just beat a bot to a trade all day long. Now it's nice to have some stuff set up overnight, which I'm going to share with you in terms of what I call setting traps. They're called buy stop orders and sell stop orders. I set those up, and I've learned how to use those in conjunction with Fibonacci pivots, a few other indicators to let me know where I'm going, and then just some basic good old fashioned trading education in my brain, understanding trends and understanding every single thing that you trade just washes, rinse, and repeats. It always does the same thing over and 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 over. And if you can learn how to position yourself in front of that pattern, right? If you can learn how to position yourself in front of that pattern, think about martial arts, right? There's no new kick invented in martial arts. Now, there's some creative fighting in martial arts, but there's no new kick. A roundhouse is a roundhouse. A front kick's a front kick. A side kick's a side kick. Down block, up block, side block. You know, they're all the same. Elbow punch to the head. It's all the same. There's nothing new invented in martial arts. The guys that get really good practice and practice and practice and watch their opponents. They watch their opponents. They look for the telegraphs. They look for that little bitty subtle move that when this person slightly drops the shoulder, they're going to do something. They watch the moves. They watch them, and then they study their opponent. Trading is exactly the same way. You've got to watch your opponent. You need to know it's going to do this, and when it does this, it's going to do this. And when it does this, it's going to do that. And when it does that, it's going to do that. And when it does those three together, it's always going to do it over and over and over. Now, that's trading. However, you're not going to figure that out by taking 2 classes in trading, go on, got it, because you're just going to get your lunchbox taken, you're going to get your lunch money taken, and you're going to go home, you know, crying because you don't have any lunch money or lunchbox or lunch, right? So if you're going to learn how to trade, get in class. I can throw a recommendation at you. Matter of fact, I think I threw a link somewhere here in the description. If you don't have it, get enrolled in class. Stupid affordable. Take class, $179 a month. 35 hours of live classes, 100 hours of recorded classes. They've got an awesome community. You have to commit. And I'm saying just based on what I did, if you really want to get gooderific and you really want to get yourself to making, you know, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a day trading, you need to commit to 3 to 5 hours at a minimum a week, right? Notebooks, pen and paper, demo account, and practice for at least 18 months, if not 24 months. And get really good at it. Subconsciously, it'll kick in and it'll start working, right? You're sparring on the mats. You watch, you learn how to punch, down block, up block, side block, step block, you know, all that kind of stuff in martial arts. Then you get in and you spar and you learn how to take a punch, right? You learn how to take some losses, and then eventually you get good enough where you get promoted, and then you actually get into a ring. You can go to some tournaments. Get your butt kicked in a tournament, you get good, you figure out what that guy did, you get better, you get better. Next thing you know, you're a martial arts phenom, right? Same thing in trading. You got to practice. You're going to take some losses, you're going to take some wins, hopefully more wins than losses, and that's the whole goal. If you end up with more wins than you do with losses at the end of the month, you have a good month. Same thing in baseball. If you end up with more wins than losses, you end up being the champion in baseball. So I'm going to share my screen with you really quick. I just want to show you something really cool. And this is just something that I picked up, and this is how I trade, right? It may not be for everybody. It's just what I do, right? And I use a couple of things in here. So this is I'm on the 15-minute chart. I'm on US 30. Started trading US 30, was reluctant at first because it moves stupid fast, like fast. If you're brand new to trading, I would recommend you start on something that moves really slow, right? Like you know, AUD, JPY or something that moves slow. Even gold moves slower than this, right? It's something that moves slower, right? Practice trading that, some type of maybe something just moves slower. Practice it, but you got to, you know, if I said practice now like 150 times, if anybody's doing check marks, I'm probably on 150. Say practice. So these are this is set up as a Fibonacci pivot. It's set on dailies, and one thing that I know just watching this and practicing on a demo account for practicing a lot is that I know when price does this right here, I know when price does this, typically it's going to do this. It's always going to come back to somewhere. I went in and I sort of did a back test. I know people who back test, did a back test in this zone right here, the 31.4 zone-ish in this area. Last summer, a whole lot of price came down into this zone last summer, right down into June, and it bounced around the zone, did a whole lot of stuff. There was a whole lot of hits, a whole lot of price coming back to this area here. So looking at where price was at, looking at my Fibonacci's, looking at my EMAs, looking at what this thing had done the previous day of sort of moving around. 3 things when we move into a new day that I know are going to happen, right? Price is either going to just keep doing this. Sometimes it'll react to the news, right? Sometimes you'll get a news reaction depending on what's going on in the news. Yesterday, there was a nice big spike in the price. I'm not quite sure what happened yesterday at 2 o'clock. But the yesterday news was crazy. Yesterday morning, this morning at 7:30 was a little bit nuts. There's going to be some more news tomorrow. But two things are going to happen. Three things are going to happen. One, price is going to continue along this zone. Now, if I'm scalping, if I go down to the 1 minute time frame and I'm scalping, I can probably catch some pretty good money with it doing this, bouncing back and forth through this zone, right? One of my favorite things to do is what I call setting traps. I set buy stops and sell stop orders, right? Anything below price is a sell stop. It's going in this direction. It's a sell stop. It's going in this direction. It's a buy stop. You'll notice I don't have anything set up there right now because I'm waiting for the day to finish, and I may come back and do this later today. But the day is going to end about 4 o'clock Central Standard Time. So I went in. I thought I set a sell order here. I started on it, but I didn't do it. So I missed out some money on traveling through this zone, right? I didn't set any buy orders up here based on where price had been in the past. It hadn't really made it up much past the zone, so I didn't set any buy orders in there. I just looked at the zone, and I sent my guys a message last night in the chat, and I said, y'all better keep an eye. Now, I didn't think it was going to happen until this morning. It did happen about 5 o'clock. I thought it was going to happen a little bit later. It's going to head down to this about this 31.4 zone. You might want to go in and set some sell stop orders and do this. The way I do this is I do it very conservatively. I did a little bit more conservative over here because I just watched everything. I watched where price was at the day before. I just looked at a whole bunch of different things, and I put my sell orders in. I didn't enter this one on my phone. I started, but I didn't. But I got these two in here. Grab some serious pips. But you'll see this one entered here right about 5 o'clock. Price run right through this, right about the 5 o'clock time frame. It hit, it opened that trade. It started run. It came down here right about 5:15. It opened the next trade. They ran down here, and both of those trades closed. And when I got up in the morning, I had a big old freaking chunk of money in here because there was a lot of pips in there. I don't even, let me see if I can see what those pips were because they were a lot. Let's see, 750 to 569. You can do the math. So 750 to 550 would have been 200 pips. So 19 pips shy of 200 pips on that one. And then this one was 780 to 569. So just shy of 300 pips on that one. Stupid money. I'm just going to leave that right there. Right. So one thing that I do is when I'm trading is once it comes into this S3 zone on an S3 pivot, Fibonacci pivot, I don't trade. I don't care what's going on in here. It's just too messy. I'm just going to wait, right? I already made my money for the day. I don't need to do anything else. Got my EMA up here. Everything is fine. I can turn on a couple other things and come in here and do a cloud check, right? I'll grab the cloud. I turn that on. See what the cloud's telling me. It's got a strong sell cloud. I just don't trade below the S3 or above the R3 unless I've got an active open trade. Literally, if I've got an open trade and I'm in the positive and it hits my S3 or my R3, I just close it. I just close the trade. I'm not looking for anything down in this zone. I really don't care. I just knew price was going to head down to this direction. We'll see in the morning when we get up where price is at, probably towards the end of the day. As soon as the day rolls in about 6 o'clock this evening, or maybe right after we're done with Bible study, I'm going to come in here and take a look at where my next fibs set up. And then I'll come in and set some either buy stop orders or sell stop orders, depending on where those fibs go. Now, if price is continuing its overall trend in a downward move, depending on the market, it may go. And you see, I've got a lot of these set up. I've got a buy stop order up there that I actually took off my phone. I just got to get all these markings off my chart. But that's how I trade. I set these up because price is going to go to one or two or three directions. It's either going to continue across this way. Let me clear out the cloud, right? Clear that out. It's either going to continue across this way, right? It's going to go up in this direction, or it's going to go this direction. Now, since I use the cloud predicts basically 26 periods ahead. So back here in the day, this was at 9 o'clock last night. This is where the cloud was at. It was pretty flat, right? It's not giving me anything. This cloud was pretty flat in this area. Got a buyer's cloud here trying to jump in. Some buyers jumped in the market. My MACD is ridiculously flat down here. Nothing really going on. I'm not awake, but I want to make sure that if price heads down in this direction towards this zone, it might have not came down till later today, right? But I know it's going to come back to this zone. I want to hit I set my traps up, my sell stops. I set these both up. And as a result, I made my profit today, and I didn't have to even get up this morning and do any trading. I just got up and looked at my phone and had some nice money in there. So I'm not saying this to brag at all. I'm not saying this to brag at all. I just want you to know, if you make a commitment, if you want to position yourself, position your family, set yourself up to where maybe your college degree just ain't working for you. You've gave more money to the college than you've actually made since you've gone to college for your college degree. College education is great. But if you seriously want to learn how to trade, reach out to me. I'll get you enrolled. We'll get you set up, get you enrolled in classes. You can just go to the link that's right here somewhere, get enrolled into class, start taking those classes, go through the basics of, it's just cool. They've got 35 hours of live trading. They've got 100 hours of recorded classes. They've got an awesome community. They've got crypto classes. You can take crypto if you want to learn how to trade. Crypto's going to work exactly the same way. Here, let me show you. Because, well, I don't want to trade. I don't want to trade US 30. Okay, well, here's crypto, right? Crypto, you can do exactly the same thing. Exactly. This is Bitcoin, right? It's Bitcoin. You can do exactly the same thing using Fibonacci pivots on Bitcoin. You can open up a different style of broker to trade crypto, but you can trade crypto. I can come in here and I can set a sell order, a sell stop order. My S3 is way down here, right? So if Bitcoin decides to plummet, I can set those traps. I've got a huge area up here I can set a trap in. It looks like yesterday price went all the way up to 26. It's probably going to come back up into this zone. Depending on what's happening in the market, it may hover around here and push back up. But if I was trading this, I would set me a sell stop order or buy order right in this area. And I'm always conservative, about a third up and a third down, give myself some room. Set my stop loss just in case it does that. I don't want to lose too much, right? I'm going to set that all up. But that, again, Bitcoin works exactly, crypto works exactly the same way. Tesla works exactly the same way. They all do the same stuff. So once you learn how to trade them, right? Is my Tesla still on here? Here's Tesla. There's Tesla stock. There's my Fibonacci pivots. Same deal. There's my EMA, right? Everything looks exactly the same on here. If I come and turn on my cloud, prices in the cloud, I wouldn't trade this right now. But again, I can look at where my Fibonacci pivots are. I can set my buy orders and sell stop orders depending on where price is going to go. I can look at the news and follow the news. If I follow Tesla, right, and I know what affects the Tesla news, I can make a ton of money just trading Tesla. That's all I did. If I just traded Tesla all day long, I could make a pretty decent amount of income just based on every time Elon Musk opens his face, Tesla moves, right? And I will get used to whatever that is in the market. So it doesn't matter what you trade. What matters is that you actually learn how to trade, get into the market. Here's AUD, Canadian. Here's the Australian dollar against Canadian dollar. Again, all my pivots, they moved right along with the US 30. Wonder why that happened. Again, something you learn, something you would learn in class is why they have, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of times there's correlations. Like if one thing does something, it's going to affect a lot of other things, and they all move the same direction. So trading class can be a lot of fun. I don't think I did a screen share there, but I was not. Here, let me do that. I was over here talking and y'all didn't say anything about a screen share. Here, let me see. Here we go. Sorry about that. So this is the AUD USD. You can see it does exactly the same thing as the US 30 did. And then we come down here. We took a look at, here's Tesla. Again, here's Tesla. Same thing, Fibonacci pivot. So it doesn't matter what you trade, right? It really doesn't matter what you trade, whether you're trading crypto, Bitcoin, any of that kind of stuff. Where did Bitcoin go to? It's under the B's. Trading Bitcoin, it all works exactly the same way. So again, if you're thinking about getting the classes, you want to do something like that, I would highly recommend reach out to me, get you the enrollment link. We'll get you set up. And then once you get some experience under your belt, you can come and hang out with me and some of my buddies where we have our own little private trading group. And we get into the heavy duty of, making some real dollars and practicing on stuff and just honing our craft. So I appreciate you. I love you. Jesus loves you. Absolutely nothing you can do about that. I'm on a mission to have no more empty refrigerators and help you make a lot of money. We'll see you next time. Happy trading.